My 15-year-old idiot kid got his GF pregnant on purpose. This whole thing has been a waking nightmare and I honestly just need to vent. Throw away because I don't feel like having my life burned down any more than it already is. So I'm 30F, and yeah, I was a teen mom. I had my oldest, Ollie, 15M, when I was barely out of school. His dad and I did the whole make it work thing, got married at 18, worked our asses off to get stable, built a home, had more kids, 2, 6, 9, and 11 now, and we're doing okay now. Comfortable. Solid. Not rich, not flashy. Just stable. I thought we were finally in a good place. And then Ollie went and pulled the dumbest shit imaginable. He's been best friends with this girl, Bree, since they were like 7. Cute little story, right? Childhood friends, sweet photos, family friends, blah blah. Her family moved 3 states away about a year and a half ago because cost of living here got ridiculous. We still talk now and then, like Christmas cards, occasional chats when the kids are FaceTiming, that sort of thing. Well, ever since they moved, Ollie has been obsessed with getting us to move to their town. Keeps going on about cheaper rent, better jobs, more space. We've told him 100 times, we're not moving. Not only do we have stable jobs here, but our other kids have lives, school, friends, sports. Uprooting all of that because your teenage hormones are screaming? Yeah, no. Fast forward to Christmas. Bree's family came back for the holidays and of course the kids hung out. I assumed it was supervised. I thought they were with the group most of the time. Guess what? They weren't. And now Bree is pregnant. And I'm 99% sure it was on purpose. Let me be clear, Ollie has had plenty of sex addiction. From school. From us. He has access to condoms. We've had the awkward talks. He knows what causes pregnancy. He knows how not to get someone pregnant. This wasn't a oops. This was a choice. A plan. And last night, he admitted it. He told me it started as a joke. Bree apparently said, imagine if I got pregnant, then you'd have to move here, and that joke turned into a very real decision. Because according to them, a baby would mean it was meant to be. Are you serious? Now Ollie wants me to pack up our lives and move to support him, Bree, and the baby. I said no. I said hell no. And suddenly, I'm the villain. Her parents cut contact with me. They're calling me disgusting for even asking for a DNA test before making plans. They're trashing me to my own son behind my back. I literally heard them say, tell your mother she's full of shit for that DNA crap. Through my wall. I've kept calm. I've kept polite. But now? I'm done. So after all this drama, after Ollie admitted it was on purpose, after her parents basically ghosted me and started communicating through my son like we're all in some backwoods soap opera, things went downhill faster than I thought possible. I tried one last time to open a real conversation. Told Ollie, fine. You want to be involved? Then Bree's parents need to talk to us, adult to adult. No more playing telephone through a 15-year-old. He was resistant at first, probably because Bree's been feeding him this idea that we're the bad guys. But eventually, he agreed. He even said he wanted us all to talk like grown-ups and figure it out. He set up a video chat with Bree. She picks up, sees me there, and immediately hangs up. Didn't say a word. She texts him asking why I was on the call. He explains that we want to talk to her parents about the baby, make a plan, maybe even fly out there when the baby's born if it's his, set up mediation, the works. Very adult, very reasonable. She blocks him. And that was it. He hasn't eaten since. Barely leaves his room. He cried, full-on sobbed in front of me for the first time in years. Said he thinks he ruined everything. Said he doesn't even know what to do now. Asked me, dead serious, if there's a way to undo it. My heart shattered. And then a friend of his showed him Bree's Instagram post. Public pregnancy announcement. Big, sappy post with, it's you and me against the world, baby girl, vibes and a bunch of deadbeat dad memes. Except the kicker. She posted a digital copy of her ultrasound. I zoomed in. Dated April 4th, says she's 19 weeks and 3 days on that scan. That's not a September 22nd due date like they told us. That's August. And guess what? She and Ollie only saw each other on January 4th. That math does not add up. Now I'm sitting here, holding that information, not knowing whether to tell Ollie because he's already wrecked and spiraling. What if it's not even his baby? What if he was used to try to rope us into moving or to make some other guy jealous? I don't even know what hurts more, watching my son fall apart, or realizing that everything I built could come crashing down because a couple of teens decided to play house. And yeah, I still haven't emailed her parents. Because honestly, I don't know if I even care to anymore. So I finally showed Ollie the scan. Sat down with him, looked him in the eyes, and said, I need you to see something. I pulled up the screenshot his friend grabbed from Bree's Instagram. The scan said 04/04, GA 19 weeks plus 3 days. I explained what that meant. Even pulled up a pregnancy calculator to show him how it literally made conception impossible during the time she visited here. He stared at it for a long time. Didn't say anything. I could see the gears turning. Slowly. Painfully. And then came the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. He laughed. Like, this hollow, broken little laugh. And said, so I'm not the dad? After everything? Just sat there. Quiet. Like he was embarrassed for believing it in the first place. Then came the anger. Not at Bree, at himself. He started crying again. Not sobbing like before, but silent tears. Told me he feels like he threw his whole life away over someone who used him. That he thought having a baby would make him feel important, needed, grown. That she made him feel like it was their way out of the stupid rules we put on him. Apparently, the joke of getting her pregnant turned into late-night fantasy talk about finally being together if she got pregnant. And Bree? She played it up. Told him things like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Talked about being a family. Even said she wanted a daughter who looked like him. It was manipulation, plain and simple. And it worked. Because now my son, my actual child, has been emotionally wrecked, isolated from a girl who clearly has her own drama and now feels like he's lost everything. Her, the baby he thought was his, and even some of his friends. And let's not forget the cherry on top, Bree's still posting cryptic, deadbeat dad, quotes online like she's the victim. Meanwhile, Ollie was literally planning how to help raise the baby, move states, give up sports and school for this. It makes me sick. The parents still haven't reached out. Still no contact. Still blocked. But if they think they're getting a damn cent from us without proof of paternity, they've got another thing coming. I told Ollie the truth doesn't make him stupid. It just makes him young. And he nodded. Said he finally gets why we've been so hard on him about this. So yeah, we're moving forward with the DNA test. If they'll even let us near the baby. But honestly, I think they're trying to pin this on him because it's convenient. Because whoever the real father is? He probably bailed, and Ollie looked like the next best target. This isn't just teen drama. This is real life. Real consequences. And real people getting destroyed because 2 kids were left unsupervised and 1 girl saw an exit sign in the shape of a pregnancy. I don't know what's next. But I do know this, I'll fight like hell to protect my son, even from the things he thought he wanted. After that ultrasound bombshell, things shifted. Ollie's still heartbroken, but now he's withdrawn in a way that scares me. He barely eats. Doesn't talk unless we talk first. His phone's practically untouched except when he doom scrolls through old messages with Bree. I walked past his room last night and caught him listening to one of her old voice notes on repeat. Just staring. He's not mad at me anymore. He said sorry. More than once. Told me he really thought it would be different. That it felt like love. That he believed her. I told him, gently, that's not a crime. Wanting to believe someone you love isn't stupid. It just means you're human. But the damage is done. Not just to him, our entire house feels tense now. The little ones don't understand why their big brother is so quiet, why dad's suddenly more talkative, more involved than he's ever been, or why I'm walking around like I've aged 10 years in 2 weeks. What really broke me was when Ollie asked, what if I still want to be in the baby's life? Even if she's not mine? I had to swallow the instinctive hell no and just ask him, why? He said because if the dad bails, someone has to step up. That he doesn't want the baby to grow up feeling like a mistake. I didn't scream. I didn't scold. I just cried. Because that's the kid I raised. The kid who still has a good heart, even after all this. But also the kid who doesn't fully grasp how serious this is, how it could haunt him for years if he steps into something that isn't even his responsibility. Bree's still posting online, by the way. Still pushing the deadbeat baby daddy angle. Still curating this narrative where we are the villains who won't let Ollie step up. Meanwhile, she's blocked all of us and refuses to speak directly. I finally sent the email. Laid it all out. Said we will pay for the DNA test. Said if the baby is his, we will come, support, plan everything together through proper legal channels. If the baby is not his, we want written confirmation and for all this manipulation to stop. No reply. And Ollie's starting to understand that silence speaks volumes. I think what hurts most for him isn't the relationship ending. It's realizing he was used. That someone he trusted spun a whole fantasy around him. That he threw himself into something life-altering, and might have just been plan B the whole time. He asked me today, what if no one wants me like that again? God, I nearly lost it. He's 15. He shouldn't be thinking like this. He should be worrying about exams and what shoes to wear to the skate park. Not paternity tests. Not Instagram beef. Not baby names. And yet, here we are. I'm going to give him time. We're looking into therapy for him, and I'm trying to stay patient even when I want to scream. Because as angry as I was, I'm mostly just sad now. And tired. So damn tired. I'd almost given up on the email. It had been 4 days. I'd even started drafting a second one, shorter, colder, more legal sounding. I was done being nice. Then I got a call. From a private number. I don't usually answer, but I had this weird pit in my stomach and picked up. It was Bree's mom. First words out of her mouth. Not, hi. Not, let's talk. Just. I didn't know the scan had the gestational age on it. She wasn't supposed to post that. I sat down immediately. My legs actually gave out. She sounded ashamed. But guarded. Like she knew this whole situation was spiraling, and she wasn't sure whether to throw Bree under the bus or not. I stayed calm and just said, thank you for calling. Can we talk like adults now? And surprisingly, we did. Turns out, the due date Bree gave wasn't from the OB, it was from a pregnancy tracking app. The OB's actual scan, the one she posted online, was accurate. GA 19 plus 3 on April 4th. Meaning conception likely happened the first week of December, not when she saw Ollie in January. Bree had lied. About the dates. About when she found out. About everything. When I asked her mom directly if there was a chance Ollie wasn't the father, there was a pause. Not a long one, but long enough. And then. Yes. There is a chance. A good chance. I felt like I'd just been dunked in ice water. They knew. They all knew. And instead of coming clean, they played it out. Used Ollie's panic. His guilt. His hope. All of it. I couldn't even be mad at Bree's mom. She sounded exhausted. Said their house had been unstable lately, that Bree's mental health was touchy, and they didn't want to push her. I get it. I really do. But you don't let a 15-year-old boy spiral like this. You don't cut his parents out and let him believe he's about to be a father on purpose. When I hung up, I didn't even go to Ollie right away. I cried. Harder than I've cried in years. For all the stress. For my son. For her too, honestly. Bree's still a kid, and she's walking straight into motherhood while lying to everyone, including herself. When I told Ollie, I did it as gently as I could. I told him she might not even know who the dad is. That her parents are finally willing to do a test. That will still be there if the baby is his, but we're not dragging ourselves through fire for a lie. He didn't say anything. Not at first. Then he just whispered, I really thought she loved me. I didn't have an answer. I just held him. We're still doing the DNA test. It's booked. But I already know what the result's going to be. And I think, so does he. The DNA test results arrived on a Thursday morning. No dramatic knock, no big reveal. Just a plain FedEx envelope left on the porch like it wasn't about to rip through our lives again. I waited until Ollie came downstairs before opening it. We sat at the kitchen table, the same spot we'd argued, cried, and fought over all this. His dad stood by the wall, arms crossed, eyes on the floor. I pulled out the paper and skipped right to the part that mattered. Probability of paternity, 0%. That's it. The entire world collapsed into one stupid sentence. Ollie stared at me. So it's not mine? I nodded. He looked like he'd been hit in the stomach. Then he exhaled, slow, deep, shaking, and just said, I feel weird. Not relieved. Not angry. Just hollow. I hugged him. He let me. His dad didn't say much, just rested a hand on Ollie's shoulder. After a while, Ollie asked if he could text Bree. I said no, for now. I'd rather her parents hear it first so they don't spin it into something ugly. He agreed. Then, without saying a word, he blocked Bree. I need space, was all he said. I didn't argue. That was the first real boundary he'd set in months. That night he ate dinner with us for the first time in weeks. Nothing fancy, pizza and brownies, but the little kids cheered like he'd just come home from war. He even laughed at a joke his 6-year-old brother made, and I could have cried right there. But the grief hit later. I found him in the garage at midnight, sitting on the stairs, headphones in, staring at the wall. He looked up and said, "I feel like I lost a piece of myself I never had." I sat with him in silence. The next day he asked for therapy. I didn't even blink, signed him up immediately. He also asked if he could try out for soccer again this fall. Said he wants to run until his brain goes quiet. Good. Let him run. Bree's mom eventually sent an email. One line. "We acknowledge the results and will handle things privately." No apology. Nothing else. Typical. Ollie didn't react to her Instagram, deadbeat dad, posts either. He just deleted the app. Another quiet win. It's not over. There'll be more fallout. But my son? He's healing. Slowly, honestly. And this house finally feels calm again. That envelope is still on our fridge, tacked between a spelling test and a crayon drawing. Proof that sometimes the truth hurts, but lies ruin everything. And honestly, I'm just grateful we got our son back.